Okay, this is our 4,000 points aside, 2,000 points a player, second battle in our campaign. So we've got the Dusk Raiders and the Imperial Fists once again against the Word Bearers. This time we are doing a new mission. Before we go over the mission, let's talk about our forces. Let's start over here with the Dusk Raiders. Ryan.
I brought a very similar force to my last time, with one huge addition.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe not quite as similar, but sure.
So basically, rundown. I have Crisis again. He's kind of my mascot. I love bringing him. He's really neat. He's a little pricey, but I think he's really cool. So I'm going to do it anyway.
Right on.
But around him are four of his best friends, the Death Shroud.
Got it.
And then we have a Master Signal now to give this thing BS5.
This thing being the Arcus.
Moving on, we have a Tech Marine with 3 Servitors. The Servitors have las cutters, because I don't know, I guess las cutters.
Sure.
A tac squad with extra close combat weapons, another tac squad with extra close combat weapons, an Arcus Strike tank with Sky Spear warheads, a combi bolter, and a heavy bolter, because last time his turret got blown off.
Right.
And then we have a Contemptor Cordis with a plasma cannon, a heavy flamer, and a chain fist.
Nice. And you've got something else in your list.
Oh, right. I have a Legio Titanicus Scout Warhound Titan.
Captain Big Deal right there.
He's got a plasma blast gun and a turbo laser destructor.
Okay.
And he's here to step on people.
Excellent, excellent. He won't be standing on the Sky Shield in this game.
that
won't be a running joke in this game.
I forgot my void shield generators
I
at home.
know, God, bummer. Jason, we have some lovely Imperial Fists. Tell us a little bit about it.
So, the Praetorian of Terror himself has left their own world and come here to put the beat down on his...
Mr. Dorn himself. Yes.
The heretics, his brother's traitors, heretic
Yes.
followers. So, yeah, Dorn, and he's bringing with him a bunch of his best armed Terminators. We got 3 squads. 1 Indominus, 2 Cataphracti.
Got it.
They'll all be teleporting in. We've got a squad of veterans, marksmen ready to outflank. Their rhinos in the back there.
Got it.
3 quad mortars, and then for a full center line, we got 20 tactical marines being overseen by an apothecary and a forge lord.
Okay, and the Forge Lord, is this that guy right there in the red?
The guy in the red there.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so that's 2,000 points of Imperial Fists. Let's move on over to the Word Bearers. Paul, tell us about your force this time. A little bit different.
A little bit different. So like we talked about prior to the game, we wanted to bring the big toys out, and I just finished the Legion Glaive, so curse of the new model will probably be upon me, but got to get it over one way or the other.
You never know.
Really love the model, really love the unit.
Beautiful paint job there, buddy.
Yeah, so in this one, similar to before, definitely still keeping with the Demon Engine theme, so friends in low places are going to show up and help out to that endeavor.
Right.
Keeping with the Siege Demons, got the Horrors coming along with them. Of course, Zardulaic is always kind of my HQ, so he'll be featured. This mission, we'll get into that in a minute, really emphasizes the need, especially for us on the attacker side, to bring scoring units.
Yep.
So these guys are going to do some of the heavy lifting along with your guys. So
right.
We'll see if we can keep them protected or not. But of course, the Rhino to give them a ride. The Mahara Gal, just because I just can't not bring them.
Don't leave home without it.
Exactly. And the Venator, which I see you have also, so hopefully we can...
yes, it's not even like we planned that. We actually didn't plan that.
Actually, we didn't plan that, but you know, I'm glad we didn't plan that so well.
Right.
All right.
Agreed. It's not a terrible thing. So let's move on over to my Word Bearers. Similar to last time, a couple of key changes. So we're being led by Erebus himself again. He got lots of plastic surgery and reconstructive surgery after all those burns from the last game. He is joined by 6 he is joined by 6 Galvor Bach, and they are also joined by a Terminator Librarian up there in the front. Also of note, we're going to put the Terminator Chaplain in the Spartan with the Galvor Bach. No flare shield or no armored ceramide on him. And then we've got 2 units of 10 tacticals. Sergeant Barda from last game, who survived. He survived and killed those bikers, so he actually has a name. We'll see if he survives this game. And then they're both in 2 rhinos there, each 10-man squad. Then we're followed up with heavy support. We've got a Venator, Sakaran Venator, for some helping out with the super heavies, as well as now, folks, these lists aren't 100% legal. We're kind of using the Adepticon rules from Adepticon 2018 to allow some of the super heavies. And we're just playing it fluffy, so folks, you might notice that some of these lists might not be 100% accurate to the rules, but we're just kind of keeping it fluffy. So I added my Zana Forge World Porphyrion Knight as support for the word bearers in this game. So there you have it, 2,000 points a player, 4,000 points aside. So we're going to move on to setting up the table and rolling for deployment in first turn, and then get started with battle. We have set up the table and the battlefield for this battle report. So we're on an icy world or icy area of the world, and we've got some specific objectives. And Paul, tell us a little bit about this mission. This is a custom mission in the campaign, right?
Yeah, sure thing. So again, keeping with the theme that we mentioned before, we wanted to keep all the mission objectives very tangible.
Right.
So in this particular case, we have a traitor invasion on an otherwise Imperial loyalist-controlled solar system. The three objects in the middle of the table represent technology used to support the planet-wide defense grid.
Got it.
So the idea in this mission is, instead of relying on typical kinds of things for destroying, either with a shooting or assault phase kind of an attack, the attacker, which will be the traitors in this case, have to get scoring units in base contact with these.
With each one of these structures, this one, and that one over there, right?
Yep. Each
Okay.
one has 3 structure points, we'll call them.
Got it.
So at the end of the movement phase, if we have scoring units in contact with the structure, with no denial units in contact, then we can pull down that structure point, which will equate to a single victory point for us at
Right.
the end of the game.
Right.
Now the loyalists have the same privilege. If they can put a scoring unit in contact with the structure, with none of our units to deny, and it's been damaged previously, they can tick that number back up. So, as with other kinds of missions like these, the defenders are actually starting in the winning position and have a couple other advantages the way that we've set this up. In this particular mission, the traitors are forced to deploy first, but go second unless they can seize. So that actually allows the defender to not allow us to basically counter their deployment.
Got it.
We'll see if the word bearers can pull it out, but I think this is going to be a tough slog.
Okay, fantastic. And so kind of conceptually, we're not destroying these things. We're just like activating or deactivating them to sort of set up for the next stages of the campaign, to where, whether it's set up or not.
Right. So if the traitors can take over that defense grid, they can take control of the solar system. And this is one step to that end.
Towards that end. Okay, so now you know a little bit about the mission. We will link the actual details of the mission in the show notes for the video. So go ahead and take a look at that mission pack. So we are going to come back and deploy attacker and defender. Again, the traitors are the attackers and the loyalists are the defenders. So we're going to come back and deploy, and then we're going to talk about our deployment. All right, we have deployed for this mission. So the attackers or the traitors are on this side. We'll go down through this list and talk about our deployment. Paul, tell us a little bit about what we did here.
Well, in keeping with the fact that already, not only does our opponent have a almost impenetrable defensive position,
Yes.
we deployed so that we could at least put our big heavy lifting units,
Our
on
heaviest
either
assets.
side,
Yeah, heaviest assets on the flank, right.
with some strong stuff in the middle.
Right.
So I think we're going to have to make some quick decisions on what we could deem as possible points
Right.
to actually achieve some of the victory conditions of this mission. So definitely have the demon engine on the left. I think it's going to have to
Kinda hide
roll
there,
a
yep.
whole lot better than we did in the first game when it comes
Yes,
to bringing
yes.
some help from beyond.
Yes, please and thank you.
Otherwise, we'll have to see what's left standing after that first turn of shooting.
Right, so like Paul said, we've got a strong flank with the Porphyrion and the Glaive. We've got troops kind of taking in the middle as well as the Venators. We will be taking second turn or bottom of the turn unless we seize. So we're going to have to survive some shooting from some of that vicious loyalist shooting. All right, Jason and Ryan, tell us a little bit about your deployment.
So we've kind of weighted our deployment so that we can swing in on the one side, concentrate most of our forces on 2 of the 3 pylons.
Got it.
And during deployment, Dorn's ability to bolster cover we've done with the 3 pieces that are marked with the Imperial this symbol.
Okay, gotcha. So those 3 tokens on those terrain pieces kind of indicate that Dorn has done his duty with reinforcing the bulwarks and all that.
Right. He's giving it the once over, signed off his seal of approval.
Nice. Okay, and so we've got some troops there in the middle, kind of taking the middle, maybe hopefully getting some of these objectives in the middle. And so you've also tell us a little bit about the Dusk Raiders,
So
right?
Chrysos comes stock with pretty much everything. You don't roll for his powers, you don't roll for his poetry. He has Master of Ambush, which is him and 3 other units gain the Infiltrate special rule.
Okay, so that's why we see some units deployed above that 10 inches, right?
Tech Marine is there with his servitors, Tac Squad, Chrysos and his boys, and then another Tac Squad. So I have secured all 3 objectives before the game starts.
Wow, okay. Not bad.
They've been, I don't know, they dropped out of a Thunderhawk 3 weeks ago, and they've been sitting here for 7
Just kind of
days.
chilling, you
Where's
know.
the goddamn narrative?
That's right, that's what we're doing. And we've got a little
Master Signals here to give the BS5 to this tank that shoots a bunch of shots
Right.
in the worst ways.
we saw him last game. And so we've got the Warhound over there, right?
Yeah, Warhound and then Cordis underneath him.
Okay.
Then Dorn showed up and ruined everything.
Darn.
In reserve, we've got the Imperial Fist at 4 units, 3 units Terminators that'll be teleporting in later,
Right.
and 1 unit of veterans that are going to be outflanking with their Rhino.
In their Rhino, got it. Okay, so that is the deployment for the reserves for the Imperial Fist. So we're going to go on to roll for night fighting. Okay, we're going to roll for night
This is
fighting.
Ryan rolling a die.
No,
No, it's not.
no night fighting. Bummer.
These-
And now we need to roll to seize. Okay, roll to seize.
Seizure. No.
No.
And I think that skull might be a premonition.
Is that a
Things
prophecy?
to come.
Yes. All right, we are going to roll on to first turn. Okay, top of turn 1 movement phase. Fellas, tell us what happened.
So we did a slow advance forward. We already had the Dusk Raiders infiltrated in good positions.
Right.
They're securing their hold on those pylons, and then Dorn is moving up to reinforce them.
Right. You had some Imperial Fists move up here a little bit in the middle here, right?
That's right.
Right on.
And then these tacks repositioned around this pylon to fire at these heralds.
Got it. Okay, getting in position. I think you're keeping these guys sort of stationary to do maybe some furying.
They don't really have a reason to move,
Okay.
per se.
Makes
They're
sense.
on the objective, and everything over here has to come to them. I mean, they're going to get
Right.
shot at. If you choose to shoot at them, I'm happy you're not shooting at something more important.
Naturally.
So-
And so I think the only other thing that maybe moved was this Contemptor.
Yeah, he's going to run here in a little bit. He popped around the corner, and he's making his way forward.
Okay, so that is top of turn 1 movement phase. You don't have any psychics, right?
We do.
Oh, you do
Right,
have some
Psyker, yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the top of turn 1 psychic phase.
All right.
All right, top of turn 1 psychic phase. Ryan, tell us what happened.
Chrysos manifested his psychic powers, and his weak attempt at witchcraft was quickly suppressed by the true master.
Zardu said no.
Zardu said no. So you rolled forward.
Erebus might have said no too, but
I think we all said
I
no.
rolled a 4, I got 3 successes on endurance, and then it was just...
It was summarily crushed by the
Erebus
word
can't speak
bearers.
through the burn scars.
18 dice of warp charge. Okay, so that was top of turn 1 psychic phase. We're going to move on to the top of turn 1 shooting phase. Aren't those dirty traitors on our side?
Just pass them some leaflets.
7 wounds.
We will send them a strongly worded letter.
Run him.
Shoot them.
Correction, I'm going to run him.
Oh,
inches.
but does he
Plus
get hot
one.
when he runs? Okay, top of turn 1 shooting, Ryan. You did a lot of shooting this turn. What
I
happened?
did. So, bombardment. Did
Yep.
nothing.
Your master signal did a bombardment and tried to shoot those 2 Venators,
I hit none of them.
but you hit none of them. They all scattered.
Scattered perfectly and managed to land in between everything, which is generally how that goes.
Yep.
This guy, Freight of the Legion,
And-
and I killed out 4 tactical marines.
I think you killed 2 Marine,
Three
two
tactical marines.
two from this one, and then someone else shot a bunch of them, I think. But lots of shots, lots of hits, but he saved like a champ.
These guys ran. These guys shot and managed to perfectly kill a herald.
Okay, one of the heralds that was hiding under here.
3
Yep.
wounds, lost all his saves.
Mm-hmm.
And then is it this guy, this Arcus tank,
Yep.
shot out and
Yep.
perfectly managed to kill a.
This Venator. That guy's turned backwards to indicate he's right. He kind of shot him right through that hole there in the sky shield and did enough wounds to wreck him. So you ran your Contemptor as well, right?
He's there. Yep.
Yep. And you fired the.
So blast gun fired. Took
Yep.
a whole point off a Rhino and shook it.
Mm-hmm.
Killed the herald.
Yep,
Yes,
the herald that was hiding under there. Yep.
The turbo laser shot and took 2 whole points off of
Right.
a Spartan.
Pretty lucky shooting, or lucky saving, or lucky not wounding. I rolled a 5 and a 1 on the D table, so thank goodness the Spartan didn't vaporize in an instant. So that's pretty much the shooting phase. Jason, you basically moved your guys up, did a few running moves, and then you did some shatter shells against these veterans this tac squad over here. Killed a bunch of them, but 2 of them? Okay. So they're still hanging in there. And Paul, you made your pinning check and your...
Yeah, with the bonus of rolling the extra die, actually heroic idiocy. Heroic.
Yes.
They read it in a book somewhere.
Yes.
Don't
those
run when shot at.
brave word bearers.
Orgar said, "Don't run when shot at."
Yes, they're
Right
the
here.
epitome of bravery. Okay, so that is the turn 1 shooting phase. We're going to move. I'm assuming there's no assaults. So we're going to go ahead and move to the top or the bottom of turn 1 movement phase. Okay, bottom of turn 1 movement phase. Paul, tell us a little bit about your stuff.
All right, so we've got to start dealing with the big mess in the middle of the game if we have any hope of winning.
Yes, we do.
Especially knowing there's a lot of Imperial fists in reserve that are going to come down and mess us up in all kinds of bad ways.
Beat face, yeah.
So we've certainly brought our flanks in. We've selected where the spear point of the attack is going to fall. Mm-hmm. And it seems now we're going to have to let the big guns start doing some heavy lifting for us and hope that's a big lift.
Right, so you moved your glaive up, and you moved your rhino up. Everything's kind of moving up. I moved my rhino up there. My Venator moved up, trying to get a shot on the Warhound. Spartan moved up as well. That rhino moved up, and I moved the Porphyrion out of cover to see if we can start doing some shots from downtown. So that's the movement phase. We're going to come back with the psychic phase for the bottom of turn 1.
Nope.
Summoning bloodletters.
Summoning bloodletters. 1, 2, 3. Goes off on 3.
Unless you want to try to deny it.
I'm trying to map position. I'm not
Okay.
worried about blood letters.
All right, so actually got off some summoning. Bloodletters down. Zardu being the last model I had with possession after starting with 3.
Did he explode himself?
He exploded himself, went full Monty.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see if that doesn't help the cause.
Yep. So we
But
summoned
the-
some bloodletters, summoned the thirster, and life is good.
And life is good. They were not able to deny it, so here we are.
Fantastic. So that was the psychic phase for turn 1. We're going to move on to shooting. All right, bottom of turn 1 shooting phase. Paul, what happened?
All right, kind of mixed review. So the glaive took its very first, its maiden shot.
Yes.
And did kill some guys and took a hell point. 5 guys?
Killed.
8 to 5 tac marines.
I
Yeah.
rolled a lot of 1s. It would have been a little more spectacular, but we did take out the Arctis between the shooting from both of us.
Okay. Yeah, you did a whole point on that Arcus, and you killed 4 or 5 of those Marines, I think. 5?
5.
Yep. Okay.
And actually, I was very happy that Mahara Gal actually hit something. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not really big on that, and we actually
Yeah.
blinded the squad here, so that kind of puts them in a bit of a
forget.
in a bit of a
Yeah,
pickle.
got a test there, I think, don't you?
I already failed.
Oh, you did. Okay, gotcha. All right. Then what else happened? So you...
Killed a death shroud.
That's right. We killed a Death Shroud with some last cannons from the Porphyrion. We'll come to that in a moment. So this Venator shot at the Warhound and took one of the Void Shields down. And I think you took a Void Shield.
So it doesn't have its void shields at the moment.
Right,
We'll
we
see if that lasts.
Took all the Void Shields down, but weren't able to do any more work on that. The Spartan shot into the Arcus that was there and finished it off with an explode result. My rhinos shot into some of these tac squads, did a little bit of work. Not a tremendous amount, though. Paul, I believe you ran these guys up.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, and then the Porphyron
Did what it does.
did what Porphyrons do. He shot at all of his magma las cannons at the quad mortars and wiped out that squad. And then shot some las cannons at the Dusk Raider Death Shroud and killed, or did he save? Or killed one? Killed one of them, yeah. And then the missiles from the Porphyrion killed one of these Marines here on this objective. So overall, not a terrible shooting phase.
Terrible. I think our enemy is going to bolster the flank over here.
Yeah.
Given their opportunity to bring in some reserves.
Very interested to see the response. Okay, so that was the shooting phase. Do we have any charges?
I have 1 charge.
Okay, so we'll come back with the assault phase for turn 1. Okay, bottom of turn 1 assault phase. Paul, tell us what happened.
Yeah, with the reroll for being fleet, made the really long charge there.
Yep.
Got the closest Marine.
Yeah, the Maharagal got in there and did some damage, right?
And being blinded from the turn before,
Yep.
I wiped out 3 of them.
Yep.
And was not able to get that melt bomb back, so that's where we stand. They passed
Yeah.
their save.
And so they're locked in combat.
Continue on into turn 2.
Okay, so that's the board state at the bottom of turn 1. We're going to roll on into top of turn 2 for the loyalists. Top of turn 2, movement phase. Fellas, what happened?
Everyone moved up.
Yeah, moved everybody up a little bit. Got some deep striking Imperial fists, right, Jason?
That's right. We had two Terminator squads came in, one armed with close combat weapons and storm shields.
There. And where's the other one?
The other one's combi meltas and power weapons.
Got it. So they came in. You also had some outflanking vets that fortuitously came in on this side, right?
Right, right behind the Bloodthirster.
Nice.
Whatever.
Jeez. Excuse me. Okay, and so the Warhound kind of stayed put.
He just moved his toes.
Yeah, we already kind of did the run on this guy, right?
He,
moved up a
no,
little
he
bit.
just moved up. He didn't run.
Did moved up. Okay. And these guys maybe just kind of moved up a
They
little
nudged
bit.
up a little bit.
A little shimmy. Okay. All right. So that was turn 2. Top of turn 2 movement phase. Let's go on to the psychic phase. Top of turn 2. Top of turn 2 psychic phase. Ryan, what happened?
I can perfectly sum it up with
With nothing. Nothing happened. All right. So you tried to cast endurance with
and he failed.
with your guy and it failed. All right. So that's a bummer.
He's
All
really
right.
bad at his job.
You had one job, Space Wizard. All right, so that was psychic phase. Let's move on to the top of turn 2 shooting phase. Shooting phase, Ryan. You did a whole lot of shooting, and some stuff got deaded. What happened?
It was mainly Jason.
Yeah.
Jason peeled all the wounds off the Bloodthirster.
Right. So these guys came in, and then Marksman, the
Shot him in the-
Bloodthirster, shot him down to 1 wound remaining.
shot his eyeballs.
Yep.
And then this guy was like,
You were like cowboy shooting from the hip,
What was that again?
scattering left and right.
he scattered and wiped out 3 of the TAC Marines and the sergeant. So
Right.
now they can't do anything to him.
Yeah, didn't wound the Contemptor, the Margal Contemptor there. Killed a bunch of Bloodletters.
Killed 7 Bloodletters.
Yeah.
Did we hit this guy at all? I don't think we
You did not hit it. Yeah.
Wiped him out and did 3 whole points to that.
Right. Yeah. So, finishing up with the turbo laser, you killed the Bloodthirster. Did some wounds there. Jason, I believe you shot your multi-melta from the Rhino and rolled the proverbial 1. And
I think it
then
was a literal one.
yeah. And so
An
Jason,
actual one?
yeah.
Actual
So,
one.
Jason, you get style points for what just happened with this tax squad. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, the tac squad, yeah. So they moved in underneath the cover of the Sky Shield.
Yeah.
And
did a fading jump shot with a
Yep.
cracked grenade on the
Their
Rhino.
lead sergeant pulled out the pin from his grenade,
Yeah.
tossed it, it bounced off the Rhino. He caught it, didn't want to waste it, put the pin
Yeah,
back
put the
in.
pin back in. All good. We'll save that shot for
save it,
later.
yeah.
It's all goodness.
Dory's
Okay,
watching.
so that's right. So those guys deep struck in. These guys are reloading from their
Eagerly.
Fury of the Legion last turn, so I think that's pretty much shooting.
They might try to charge.
Okay, let's think about charges and come back with the assault phase. All right, top of turn 2 assault phase. Jason, what happened?
So the Dusk Raider Dreadnought charged into the
Glaive?
glaive and took off a couple hull points.
Yeah, yep. So he's down 5 hull points, right?
5.
Okay, got 4 left?
7.
7 left. Okay, that's right, 12. Okay.
And we've got one Dusk Raider still holding on, or is he running away?
No,
No,
he
he
ran
ran away.
He had
So
nothing.
Heroic wisdom.
yes, the Contemptor killed 2 guys. Their weapons were not able to penetrate his armor. He failed his leadership check, and he was not run down, run away 5 inches.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
well,
Then
actually,
Dorn led his
No, I don't. Sorry.
Yep, you're
sorry,
good.
Sorry.
You're all good.
tactical marines in a charge on a Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
A valiant heroic charge on a defenseless
With
Rhino.
some, defenseless Rhino.
And that crack grenade they saved, they put to good use.
Yep.
Sticking it in the tailpipe.
That's right. Put a crack grenade in the tailpipe. And so they
That's no crack grenade.
oh my. So they wrecked that Rhino. Then Sergeant Barda is out, and he's angry. I don't know if he's angry, but
Ready to immediately
Proctologist.
snap down my
he's ready to use his bolter on things. All right, so that was the assault phase. Top of turn 2. We're going to roll on to bottom of turn 2. Word bearers. Bottom of turn 2 movement phase for the traitors. Paul, what do we got going on?
Well, Glaive moved away to get a clear shot, and actually, when he heard that there was going to be incoming fire, thought maybe
Somebody
actually-
might be shooting from
Somebody-
downtown.
How about that
Yes.
action? And getting ready for some charges over here
Yeah.
to support my compadres because
Moved up here, yeah.
Word bears stick together.
We really
They
do.
read all the same things.
Except when we don't.
Yeah.
So my guys are just going to stay put, and they're just going to rapid fire, I think, into the best of Dorn's fellas.
But most excitingly,
Yes. All of the friends.
all of our friends.
Right, so I moved that Rhino up. I deployed the attack squad out. The Galvorbach deployed after that. Spartan kind of moved back and gave room for all the Galvorbach and the friends to come out and play. So you moved your tac squad, what's left of that one tac squad up
Yep.
to see if we can start contesting this
Because
objective, right?
They are supporting. They're in a support role now.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay, and the Porphyrion kind of Kool-Aid man his way over here to see if we can get some line of fire. There's just really no good targets over here, and I don't think I can take out that Warhound on my own in one turn.
Shields back.
And that's right, we rolled for the Void Shields last turn. They both came back, so we're kind of no dice there. So that is our movement phase. We're going to move on to the, as Paul likes to call it, the Pi Psycho phase.
Pi Psychos.
Bottom of turn 2.
All right.
Bottom of turn 2 Psychic phase. What happened? We tried to roll Endurance on the Galvorbach with the Librarian. We got it,
We got it, but it was denied
It was
by
denied.
the witchery of the loyalists.
got 3 successes, and he rolled 3 sixes. Yeah. All right, what else happened?
And we got more friends from the warp
Yeah, some more blood letters summoned in right over here.
where we need them. So heck fire,
All right.
more red tide.
More bad guys for the bad guy crew. All right, that was Psychic phase. Let's move on to shooting phase. Bottom of turn 2. All right, shooting phase. That was a pretty productive shooting phase. Well, it was both productive and unproductive in a couple of different ways. So, Paul, tell us about the glaive.
So the glaive shooting the carronade right through that mass of Marines there.
Formerly Yellow Marines there.
reaped a mighty toll.
Yeah, we killed, what, 14, 15, something like that?
14 models.
Yeah, wow, it was pretty powerful. So that was pretty potent. My tac squad hopped out and shot at those traitors. I mean, those loyalists there, and
Those dark loyalists.
failed to do a single
They have
wound.
like 7 3-up saves.
Yeah, it was insane. My Galvorbach are relentless, and so they fired their bolters into those Terminators. Failed to do a single wound. This tac Marine squad shot into Dorn's finest. Didn't hit very much, and they did not do a single wound to them. The Porphyrion shot from downtown, shot his missiles and his left Magna Cannon las cannon into these guys. They went to ground, killed a whole bunch of guys, but they're still hanging in there. They saved they passed their leadership test. The second las magna cannon from the Porphyrion shot at the Warhound, took off a void shield. The Venator tried to take off another void shield to no avail. And then the las cannon sponsons from the Spartan shot downtown to the Contemptor that was the Cordus Contemptor that was in front of that glaive, and Hull pointed it out. Did I miss anything, folks? There's a lot of shooting that phase.
No.
We're poised for some charges here. I think we're ready to go into the assault phase. What do you say?
All right.
All right, bottom of turn 2 assault phase coming up. All right, bottom of turn 2 assault phase. Paul, what happened over here?
Yeah, so the lost some Terminators and was not able to get any wounds back, so we remain locked in combat.
Yep, you hit 3 guys, you killed 2, they struck back, no wounds, so you're just stuck there. So the Galvor back charged into the Terminators there. The Sergeant of the Terminators declared a charge against the Dark Martyr.
Challenge.
Challenge.
Close.
Sorry.
It's
Yep.
a C word.
Yeah, it started with C.
Cha.
So the Dark Martyr got challenged. So the Dark Martyr got challenged by the Sergeant, but unfortunately the Galvorback tore up all the Terminators before that actually a challenge could take place. The spillover wounds killed everybody. They spread out 6 inches. And so that's basically it for the charges this turn.
Now we get to wait for the incoming fire.
Yes, I think we're now going
Heads
to
up.
receive the full power of the battle station here. We're going to go to top of turn 3.
Still without a single victory point earned for the bad
The
guys.
score is still
Ought. And you guys got the 1 for First Blood, and you're still
10.
sitting on 9.
Still sitting on 9 points. Okay. Top of turn 3.
Turn 3.
Top of turn 3 movement phase, fellas. What happened?
These guys moved over here.
Yeah, you moved these guys shimmying around a little bit. Yep.
Some Terminators came down and joined Dorn.
So yeah, you had some Terminators teleport down in there, which is awesome. And Dorn kind of moved around, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, lining up that charge for Galvor Bach.
Yeah, nice.
That's really it. Most of my Imperial Fists are on the Clement tray.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So somebody poked his head out. Who could that be? The Warhound?
Yeah, he's pulled over. He's gonna just annihilate that.
It's just gonna like
warlord.
lay waste to all these fellers right here, right?
He's gonna de-weapon all of your
Okay.
warlords.
And another important movement over here is you took one of these guys and put him, that lone surviving Dusk Raider. He's
Douglas.
Douglas, yes, he's hanging out there on that terrain piece. We put that guy in
From
there.
the northern part of Barbarous.
Yes. All right, so that is movement. Let's move on to Psychic Phase, top of turn 3. Psychic Phase, Ryan, what happened?
Endurance got denied.
Yeah, you got it on 3, but we denied it on 3, so that was always a bridesmaid.
4, because we're overachievers.
Speak for yourself, Paul. All right, so that was Psychic Phase, top of 3. Let's move on to the Shooting Phase. Okay, top of turn 3, Shooting Phase. Ryan, Jason, what happened?
These guys shot some bolt pistols.
They sure did.
And killed a Galvor back.
Yeah.
These guys shot a flamer and killed a Galvor back.
And the wound went on the chaplain, but he saved.
He saved it.
Let's talk about the real deal. What happened with that big feller over there?
Wait, it's
He,
like deja vu.
It's like deja vu.
he insta-killed 3 Galvor back.
Yeah, so you shot your 10-inch pie plate of supercharged doom. You killed 6 tac squad guys. You killed 3 Galbor back in total.
He had 3 3.
There was death and fiery destruction, and then you shot your turbo laser at those fellers.
Killed 3 tactical marines
Yeah.
and 3 bloodletters.
Yeah, that was
3 bloodletters.
letters. All right, and Jason, tell us about your shooting. What'd you do?
Not that much.
Yeah, you got some guys left over. Your Terminators under the Sky Shield there shot at my tac squad. I think you pinged one dude off the
Yeah.
back of that Rhino. Yeah. Okay.
Knocked off a whole point off the glaive with the multi-melta.
Right, with
I
your Rhino in
think
the back
Dorn
there.
has words for Erebus.
Yes.
I've borne some words for you, Erebus.
Yeah. Well, I think if I'm going to do my Erebus impression, it's, Mr. Dorn, have you had a chance to hear about the word? They're just going to have a sit
Of my Lord and Savior.
Yeah, they're going to have a sit down. They're going to chat. They're going to have
Pull
coffee.
over some corpses.
They're going to have coffee and
on my
donuts.
seat.
It's going to be great. You know what? Let's go into the assault phase. I think that's the next thing to do, right? So Dorn's just going to kind of pack it up. I've had it today.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah. All right. Assault phase, turn 3. Assault phase for the top of turn 3. We had a big scrap here. So the Galvar Bach got charged by the squad of Dorn and his tac squad and some Dusk Raiders over here. Essentially, long story short, one of the Galvar Bach died. A couple of tac squad troopers on the Imperial 5th side died. Dorn attacked Erebus. He lookout surged all the damage to one of the Galvar Bach. That's how he died. And essentially that combat ended up being a draw. We're still locked in combat. Over here, Jason, what happened over here? The Dreadnought?
Yeah, the Dreadnought squashed the Terminator Sergeant, but the last Terminator still holding strong.
Still holding strong. Okay, so no movement there. That is the top of turn 3 assault phase. We're going to move on to the bottom of 3 movement phase. Okay, bottom of turn 3 movement phase for the traitors. Paul, what do we do?
So, Glaive reposition to get some more shots in.
Looks like
We
he's going to fire all the
actually-
way downtown.
Yep, we've got some scoring units that actually might be in range to do some damage.
So I moved my guys up over here, and so did
Yeah.
you.
Got a couple scoring units over here to maybe get some work done.
I moved off the top of my Rhino, past my dangerous and difficult terrain, heading towards that to start scoring. There is still that one
One guy.
pesky
Oh,
Dusk
the
Raider in
bloodletters
there.
are so happy.
He's kind of hiding in the
Oh,
corner,
it's so-
cowering in the corner.
Oh, just where bloodletters like to stab people with
Gotta
really nasty helpers.
root him out. So my Venator kind of dukes a hazard up on my wrecked Rhino.
Poke, poke, it's Christmas. Christmas is when the devil pops up under the eyes. Poke, poke.
Paul's
I'm
going
sorry.
off, and we're gonna have a little talk after this. So my Venator popped up on top of my Rhino, try to get some shots off on that.
talk about, Greg?
Oh my goodness! And then so
to bathe in the blood of my enemies.
the Venator did not fail. Can you? I'm changed. How is it that I'm the straight man? the Venator did not immobilize itself, but poor Spartan, left on one hull point, thought he'd be cocky and move back and try to get some shots off, but of course he immobilized himself with a doser blade. Thanks once. So that is that. The Knight kind of moved over here. See if we can get some line of sight to the Warhound. And that's moving. Let's move on to the Psychic phase. Bottom of turn 3. Okay, Psychic phase for the bottom of turn 3. We got a roll of 2, so we've got 8 total warp charges. What do we do with those, Paul?
So, we got Iron Arm off. That was on the Librarian.
The
For
library,
Erebus.
Erebus cast Iron Arm on himself.
And then the Librarian got Endurance on the squad.
On the whole squad. So
Yeah,
they're...
so.
They
Right,
might,
Dorn.
they might survive.
Yeah,
They
in
may-
the face, Dorn. Right here, in the face.
All right, let's move on to the shooting phase, bottom of 3. Bottom of turn 3, shooting phase. So we had this Rhino and these tac squads rapid fire into the Marines that were there. Between shooting, another shooting from the glaive, they've just got the one tech Marine left. Over here, the Porphyrion shot its las cannons and magma las cannons at the Warhound, took down the void shields and took off 5 hull points. So did a little bit of work there. The Venator shot at the Warhound 2 to try to get it to keep it from shooting next turn. Hit, but not penetrate armor, unfortunately. That tac squad ran up there to start taking points off that objective. We're probably waiting on some charge there. Paul, you shot your glaive, and what happened?
Yeah, the gun actually peeled off those Dusk raiders that were guarding the center objective.
Yep.
So that kind of becomes an attainable goal.
Right, you killed a couple of your own guys,
Had to get a
unfortunately.
couple of my own guys in there to achieve that. And
Yep.
peeled some other of those Dark Angels back there.
Yep.
Glaive still is reaping a toll
It
in
is.
its own special way.
Yes, yes.
Special weapons tank.
Okay, so that was the bottom of turn 3 shooting phase. Let's move on to the assault phase. All right, bottom of turn 3, close combat phase. We had some bloodletters charge in from back over here and get some bloodletters charging from all over the place. Long story short, there was a lot of swinging. There was a lot of
It was dismal.
gnashing of teeth, but it was really basically a slap fight. One of the TAC Marines was killed by the bloodletters, but everyone else sort of basically failed to wound. So no movement there. That combat over here, I think nothing basically happened here.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. These guys ran up there in the previous phase. So
The
tell me-
bloodletters were unable, actually after losing one to Overwatch fire,
Yeah.
the two that remained were unable to kill that last Marine.
Yeah.
So we were thinking that maybe this could be the turn we could score some victory points, but due to some pathetic performance in the assault phase,
Lots of ones rolled.
yeah, even my sacrificed word bearers over on the right were not rolled snake eyes.
That guy's still hanging on over
Still
there.
hanging on, so unfortunately not able to score a single victory
Did
point.
not.
With Overwatch?
No, you killed the bloodletter with Overwatch.
Yeah, over there.
Alright.
Yep.
So that was the assault phase. A little bit disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Not gonna
very,
lie.
very, very disappointing.
All right, top of turn 4 for the loyalists. Okay, top of turn 4, Jason, loyalist movement phase. What did we do?
So the Warhound moved back, went and shot up on those tactical Marines coming in for the objective.
Smart.
Rhino's moving in also to hopefully contest.
That rhino zipped up from the corner to kind of try to contest over there. Gotcha.
And the Terminators on the landing pad are getting into position to charge and help out the primer.
They're kind of under there, right? And so that tech marine there, we proxied out the model that we had there before, but that's the same guy that was there before. So got to finally kill that guy at some point. So that's movement for the top of turn 4. Let's move on to, I guess the psychic phase for you is over because he got wiped.
No longer a psychic.
All right, let's move on shooting. Top 4. All right, Jason, top of turn 4 shooting phase. Tell us what happened.
So most of the work was done by the Scout Titan here, who
Right.
coordinated a tactical squad.
Right, there was a tac squad over here that basically got vaporized, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then just pulled off a few guys here and there otherwise.
Yeah, we did some shooting from that tech marine. You pulled off one of Paul's tac marines there. Barely made our save. I think you shot that rhino into the Venator, but snapshot didn't hit.
Didn't hit.
Didn't hit.
Knocked out the
So
whole point out that rhino in the corner. Killed a few more tac marines with the wash of the turbo destroyer.
right. Okay, so that is the shooting phase. Let's move on to the assault phase.
All right.
Okay, top of turn 4, combat phase. We saw a lot of action over here. So lots of blows were traded. Net. Dorn killed the Dark Martyr. Some Marines over here were killed by the Chaplain and the Librarian. And then some of the spillover wounds from Dorn caused an instability test. They won combat by 5 total. Instability caused 5 bloodletters to dissolve.
Leave the table.
So still in combat, but it's still kind of raging on. Some of the Terminators over there also did a hull point to the Venator. Over there, I think we had a this squad charged that Rhino and wrecked
eliminate it.
Yeah, it's wrecked.
Sure enough.
I think. And over here,
That very heroic Space Marine remains.
yeah,
How many bloodletters does it take to kill a single Space Marine? More than 2.
the world may never know. And what happened over here, Jason? With the Dread.
The Dread finally took care of that loan.
Yeah, and so he consolidated this way. He's actually a little bit kind of on top of the Rhino, but we can't actually make him literally phase based on the rules because it's the real world. Things don't really work that way. It's fantasy, folks. It's space wizards and lasers.
Anyway.
So that was top of turn 4. We're going to move on to the bottom of turn 4 for the traitors. Okay, Paul, bottom of turn 4 movement phase. What happened?
Well, we're bringing it down to last desperate actions. We did automatically get our reserves in, so that's another scoring unit that might be able to do some work for us.
Okay, you moved your glaive a little bit.
Yep, ready to see if we can't eliminate the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Got a shot anyway.
Yep, I moved my Venator from over here, kind of get it over here. Hopefully, get a shot, an effective shot off on the Titan. I shimmied the Porphyrion over to kind of help handle multiple threats over here.
Maharagal getting ready to get in on the action.
Yeah, leaping in, see what we can do.
And then the conga line of death.
And then there was one.
And then
Are we gonna do it this turn?
God. Dark gods, I mean, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's see if we can mutually roll over.
Do
one.
word bearers consider cursing by the ruinous powers a profanity?
Let's ask.
It's probably in a book
Yeah,
somewhere.
sure.
I'll look that one up.
So that's it. Then the Rhino kind of moved around. We'll see what happens there. Bottom line, we've got to kill some stuff.
And improve the jokes.
Yes.
Anyway.
Psychic phase?
Pi Psychos.
Shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Psychic phase. Okay, Pi Psycho phase. Librarian attempted to cast Endurance, but that failed miserably. And then Erebus cast Iron Arm.
Iron
and
Arm.
Got that successful, was not denied. So we've got an Iron Armed Erebus and no more Endurance. So that should be fun. All right, let's move on to the shooting phase. Bottom of turn 4. Okay, bottom of turn 4 shooting phase. That was actually very thankful for that shooting phase. So shot our bolt pistols into that Tech Marine, no dice, and shot the Rhino into that Tech Marine, no dice. Did a lot of shooting over here. So you shot your glaive at the Warhound, and I shot my Porphyrion at the Warhound.
Got the void shields down.
And the Venator. So the Venator actually did what it's supposed to do. That's the first time it actually did that for me.
Actually destroyed the unit, but it was only going to shoot snapshots.
Right.
But
the Porphyrion finished it up. The Porphyrion also shot its left arm at that Rhino, which is kind of threatening the rear armor of that glaive. Jason made both of his cover saves for that, so great job there. So that's really it for the shooting. Things are starting to get really thin. I think you ran your
the whole inch.
Horrors. Yeah, yay.
Horrible.
Okay. So that was shooting. We're going to go on to the assault phase.
Assault phase.
Assault phase, turn 4. All right, bottom of turn 4 assault phase recap, Paul.
Yeah, Bloodletters were able to finally kill the last Marine, giving us the first opportunity to score a victory point.
Yep. So we
tear down that pylon.
We tore 1 point off that pylon. I attempted to charge kind of around the side there, but didn't quite make it. But in the end, I didn't need it. So this combat was interesting. The Maharagal Dreadnought killed a fair number of Terminators. Long story short. Then Dorn killed Erebus, and then there was some trading of blows over here that I think were relatively ineffectual. So that combat continues.
And then on the other pylon?
And then on this pylon...
That Tech Marine?
That Tech Marine is now dead. My Sergeant with a Power Fist did him, but the Tech Marine killed 2 of my word bearers there, so finally pulled another point off that pylon. So... it's pretty thin, but we've got guys there. So,
all right.
Without the Warhound, I think our troops might survive. So that's the bottom of turn 4. Let's pop over to the top of turn 5 to the loyalists. Top of turn 5 movement phase, Jason. It's starting to get a little easier to move stuff. We got a lot of attrition going on.
Yeah,
What happened?
Yeah, we do. That Rhino moved up to contest any more damage being done to that pylon.
Right,
I don't know that
smart.
it'll be there very long.
We'll see.
And
Never know.
those tactical veterans are
They kind of
gonna
moved up.
pitch in too. Yeah, see what they can do.
All right, right on. So that's pretty much anything that's still alive and or not engaged in combat. So no psychics for you, so let's move on to the shooting phase. Top of turn 5 shooting phase. Jason, you did some work.
Yeah, it was a pretty weak shooting phase, but
Not really.
not all we had.
Given what you had, you did good work.
Sniped off 2 tactical marines.
Yep, with your veterans, and I think you killed, or you shot 1 bloodletter, but he did his demon save with the multi-melta over there.
Right.
So I think that's it. Let's talk assaults. All right, top of turn 5 assault phase. We resolved a lot of this combat over here. So long story short, Dorn instant challenged the chaplain, instant killed him, and wounds spilled over and killed the librarian as well. The one Dark Angel guy there consolidated back, and then Dorn consolidated over. He's not in combat, but this combat with the Maharagal and the 2 Terminators is still ongoing. Failed to charge narrowly over here with these 2 Imperial Fists, yeah? Yeah, just by less than an inch. So that wraps up the combat phase for 5. Top of 5, let's move to the bottom of turn 5, movement phase. Bottom of turn 5 movement phase. Paul, you moved your glaive a little, huh?
Yep. Drawn line of sight on the few shooting targets we have left.
Yep.
Got to get that Rhino out of our way.
Yeah, and I pulled my remaining tac squad guys close to there and trying to
Dorn could start chasing him down.
get them away from Dorn. And you moved your bloodletters up to engage here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the pink horrors are going for the objective.
Nice.
Since
Okay.
they're allied demons, they still score.
Yep.
That's about it.
Okay, and Dorn's still back in there. I moved the Venator just a little bit to try to block movement over that way. I moved the Porphyrion back here, try to see if we can shoot some of the guys under the Sky Shield. And these guys are just going to stay here and try to just keep that objective under control. That's it for the movement. Let's go to the Psychic phase. Psychic phase, we got 3 points, but the only Psychers left on the board for us are the
Horrors and
the
the
Horrors
Herald.
and the Herald. We don't really have good targets to do any of our powers with, so we're just going to go ahead and skip it. Let's move on to the shooting phase, bottom of turn 5. Bottom of 5 shooting phase. The glaive did some work on that Rhino, so it wrecked that one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the glaive shots shot into those 2 veterans and killed them. It didn't really have a whole lot of targets, so the las cannon, the left las cannon on this one shot at Dorn, hit and wounded, but he saved. The right las cannon shot that Master Signal that was kind of hiding in behind the Void Shield, or the Sky Shield there, and killed him. It also did some wounds on that Master Signal with these guys before from the Rhino and from the Tac Squad. Took a wound off him there. So
And the Horrors ran to the objective.
that's right, the Horrors ran to the objective, so they're in base to base with that. So I think that's the shooting phase. Let's finish up the assaults. Bottom of turn 5. Assault phase, bottom of turn 5. What happened, Paul?
So, whiffed a lot of swings.
From your Maharagal, and then they attacked back and whiffed.
Yeah. Scored the hit, but didn't penetrate the armor.
Slap fight.
And it will not die.
Yeah, you
Got his hull
recovered.
point back.
You recovered a whole point, so that's good. All right, that's the bottom of 5. We are going to calculate some points here. So that guy gets 1 more point because it's uncontested.
Right.
We actually get a point pulled off of that one,
2.
and then we pull another
one's
point
1.
off of that one.
All right.
Oh boy. Okay, it's up to Dorn. Top of turn 6. We're actually going to call the game at this point. We have calculated some of the points and what's left on the board to see what can happen. And so, Jason, I think you calculated this correctly. So walk us through kind of your math and your logic there.
So you guys could force a turn 6 because of Imperial Fist rules,
Right.
without having to roll random. If that were to happen, you automatically are going to take down the 2 flanking pylons.
Right.
So you're going to get your full 6 points from them.
Right.
Likely, I think Dorn will be able to climb up on the pad, charge the pink horrors
Yep.
prevent you from taking down the center pylon, but you already
Right.
took off some of the structure points.
But you've
You're
got nothing contesting
nothing contesting,
on
nothing
the,
chance
the
of
flanks.
building the flanks. So
Right.
you're going to have 7 points to R2. We got first blood. You probably have attrition, so those cancel each other
Right,
out. And then
right.
you're going to have price of failure for the
Warhound.
yes, that's
Right.
another point there. So probably what 9 to 3.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah.
9 to 3. Great game.
Oh, yeah,
First
great
off,
game.
let's
Yeah,
talk a
very
little.
close.
Let's talk a little bit about how we did. I mean, what were our thoughts in terms of high points, low points? How did you think these lists performed? Paul, let's start with you.
Well, similar to the first game, it really did look like we were in trouble for most of the game. It really wasn't to the end that things started swinging in the word bearer's favor.
Right.
I think our super heavies really did a lot of hard work in this
Right.
game. And considering usually, super heavies in the traditional 7th edition view hardly ever live, right? I mean,
Right.
especially single knights tend to never make it.
Yep.
Got half the hull points off the glaive, but literally, especially because there was such the big mass of models in the middle of the game,
This
it
big
almost
scrum.
always had
Yeah.
a really good beam effect shot to
Right.
reap some damage along the way. So I think those helped out in a way that I honestly didn't expect.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And from my perspective, I think Jason and Ryan played the Warhound very well. They went after the troops. They went after the right targets. They picked the power level on the plasma blast gun appropriately, and they really whittling, much like the glaive did a number on the Imperial Fists and the Dusk Raider troops. The Warhound did a lot of work against our troops, and quite honestly, I think, at least for me, up until about turn 3, I was like, well, this is just not. We are not going to pull this out. But it just goes to show you again with Heresy, you just gotta keep playing the game, and that was just one hell of a game, guys. I thought. Jason, what do you think?
No, I agree. It started off like we were in a pretty good spot. As the game went further along, though, it got tougher and tougher to keep you off the objectives.
Right.
I think we made a mistake by not going for the throat on the glaive.
Yeah.
Off. We probably should have dedicated more firepower from the Titan to that.
Yeah, I think so, maybe too. And the Porphyrion, I think, did a really good job, but it did not have the same impact that the glaive had.
Right.
I felt.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, and really, I think the trade of the Warhound for those laser destroyers you had on the tanks, because last time
In our last game.
Ryan brought those along.
All those things were murderous.
Yeah, I actually thought the Porphyrion would be more threatened by having those on the table.
Yeah.
Because it just can't make enough invul saves to ward off that many hits.
Right.
So literally, it was our thought that we better take the Venators to be able to knock that squadron out, so you don't have that. So I think not having that weight of firepower.
Right. I agree. And sorry, go ahead.
And that was a smart, taking out like the artillery right off the bat.
And
Was a good
that was
move,
one thing. It's it just kind of dawned on me. It's like that artillery from the last game, and I've faced quad mortars before, and they're murderous. It's like, okay, it's really important to keep troops on the table. What's one of the things that's going to mutilate our troops all day long if I don't deal with them? It's the quad mortars. Like, I got to get them off the table. So that was, I think that was a good. Shockingly, I made a good tactical decision. The other thing I think that I really want to like the Venator. This is the first game where it actually did the thing that it's supposed to do, and I get how it's good, and I get how it's a perfect hard counter to a Warhound, but I always seem to either not hit or not pen, and so it's a tough choice, but I always want to see more out of Venator, but I think in a lot of ways, to me, the Venator is more about the threat of it than the actual impact of it. And so people kind of tech against it, or people kind of play against it.
I still think it's the impact of it. That's just me.
That's, could be. Maybe it's my dice. Who knows? I don't know. So, did you guys have fun?
No, I agree.
Absolutely.
Great time.
Always a great game.
Good fun. I had good fun on that one. So, I know, big game, a lot of fun. I think we saw a lot of carnage, and just like everything else in the Heresy, high body count and high fun.
And Erebus
died again.
Died again.
So
A little more noble of death this time, at least.
was it?
Well, he didn't go down enough.
He didn't go down like a
Well,
punk this
flame.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Punk.
He stood up a couple rounds against the Primarch.
This is true,
Yeah.
you know, major problems. And Sergeant Barda,
Survived.
he survived.
Sergeant
Sergeant Barda's still over there, so he's like, you know, if we do like a longer campaign, I'm thinking,
You
you
should earn
know,
skill points.
like some kind
He
of.
should be like ballistic skill 7 by now.
Oh, he's a
He should
lot.
be duck skill.
I
I
think
think
he-
have a not in the face.
If he survives the next game, I think he's a Primarch.
Oh, is that
Just like that.
Just like that, bam, right?
Skip captain, go right to
It's just straight to Primarch. I mean, what more do you need? All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching. We appreciate you watching, and any comments or feedback, or let us know what you thought of this battle or what you'd like to see in future battles. We're going to continue the campaign that Paul and the Northwest 30K team has learned. Paul, Jason, and others have all put together.
All of us.
Yes, all of us have put together for this. So thanks for watching. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time. Okay, top of turn.
I like that in there.
That's going in the blooper reel.
The blooper reel.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Let's go over here.
Let's go over here.
No. Just don't fart.
All right.
Hold on. Sorry.
I thought when you said recording, you were
Oh,
recording.
zip it. Hey, who's in
should
charge?
put that
I'm in
in there.
charge. I'm in charge.
I feel like that's not the fourth time.
User error. Okay, recording. All right.
Greg, when you say recording, that means you're recording, right?
I am recording
When do
now.
I start? Do I start now?
You start now.
Do I start now?
Now.
Now. Start now. Did you say recording?
Hey, zip it.
I'm sorry, I was talking. Put your warhound on your Skype.